Association's virtual end-of-year celebration. My name is Melissa Scott, and I am the current president of CSAA. As a graduate association, we aim to provide diverse programming and resources to connect student affairs professionals in the CSAA program to each other, to the UGA community, alumni, and beyond. Tonight, we are excited to reflect on some of the highlights of the year, celebrate our soon-to-be graduates, and relish in the fact that we are finishing another great academic year at Bulldog. I would first like to take a moment to recognize the CSAA and SAL faculty members, Dr. Ginny Boss, Professor Emerita Dr. Diane Cooper, Dr. Laura Dean, Dr. Marilee Dunn, Dr. Marianne Higgins, Dr. Katie Koo, Dr. Georgiana Martin, and Dr. Dallin Young, as well as our adjunct faculty, Dr. Jennifer Brannon, Dr. Ashley Dobbs, Dr. Michael Fulford, Dr. Courtney Gay, Dr. Jim Lancaster, Dr. Lindsay Ridgway, Dr. Bo Seagraves, Dr. Jason Umpress, and Vice President Victor Wilson. We thank them for their unwavering support for CSAA and SAL and all of us throughout the year. We also owe a great deal of our success to the support of our graduate assistantship supervisors and colleagues in the Division of Student Affairs, as well as across the UGA community. We would also like to recognize our CSAA alumni. Without you all, we would not be able to keep moving forward with the work that we do. I will now turn it over to Taya Britton, who will introduce our master speaker.
Hey everyone, my name's Taya Britton. I am CSAA's Vice President of Operations. So good to see everyone and see everyone's faces. Each year, the second year master students, they select a member from their cohort to speak here at our end of year celebration. And this year, I'm so pleased to introduce this year's speaker, Emily Crossett. And a little bit about Emily Crossett. She came to UGA after receiving her bachelor's degree from the University of Florida in economics. She currently serves as a career development graduate assistant at the UGA Career Center, where she primarily works with physical and life sciences students, as well as those on the pre-health track. She did her practicum at Emory University School of Law in the Office of Academic Engagement and Student Success, and completed a NOTA internship at Montclair State University in New Jersey this past summer. After graduation, she is moving to Jacksonville, Florida, where you will find her reading on the beach and missing Ideal Bagel. Please join me in welcoming Emily.
Hi, y'all. Thanks so much, Taya. I'm unbelievably honored that my peers selected me to speak on their behalf as the representative for the CSAA 2022 Master's Cohort. As we well know, two things can be true at once, and while honored, I've been terribly nervous. Not necessarily to speak to y'all on Zoom, that I feel well versed at, more so to synthesize my thoughts in a way that both reflected my individual experience and also spoke to that of my peers and others who are a part of the CSAA SAL community. I don't feel I have anything to say that hasn't already been said about graduate school in a pandemic. Congrats to mine and other graduating classes. We've almost done it. We spent a long time peering into the unknown, taking leaps and bounds along a darkened path. We had to serve as a light for others and for ourselves when we didn't know the way, traversing uncharted territory at full steam ahead when we might have preferred baby steps. For my cohort, and I presume others, a mechanism to propel us forward has been a marker of days until graduation. Happy 14 days, by the way. For many, the end of this year marks a milestone, whether an impending graduation, new internships on the horizon, wrapping up of coursework before moving on to a dissertation, or being one semester closer to retirement. Congratulations to each of you. We're hurtling through time and space at alarming speeds, it seems, and approaching graduation, both the immediate one for some or a range of years off for others, is the culmination of endless hours of hard work and formative experiences. Some experiences we didn't realize were so formative to this very moment when they were happening. Hypothetically, we didn't know that the day we moved into our undergraduate institution's residence hall, that we were approximately 2,100 days away from a master's degree graduation. When we perhaps thought about dropping out of school altogether because we thought we couldn't make it, weren't smart enough, or didn't deserve to be there, we were 1,993 days away from a CSAA degree. Maybe the first time we visited Athens, just to see our oldest friend with no thoughts of graduate school in our minds, did you realize you were 1,244 days away from graduation at this institution in this town you fell just a little bit in love with? Maybe you didn't know the day you left work, brimming with joy that a student you tutored got to be on their exam, passed the course, got to remain in their selected major and eligible for their sport, that you were 1,017 days away from graduating with a degree where you could feel this way as a career. When you had the flu and got 2 grad school rejections back to back, you didn't realize you were 833 days away from graduating from a program that saw something in you and took a chance on you when others didn't. Of course, there were other highs and lows and middle of the road moments and days that led to this point. But here we are, 14 days away. My question now is, what's next? What are we counting down to that we don't even know exists yet? What life-changing experiences or opportunities are out there that we haven't even considered? And what are the formative experiences happening today, yesterday, and tomorrow that we'll reflect upon and say, that was it, or that was the moment it clicked, I just didn't know what for yet. Future you who will remember a quiet moment in Adderhold, or a fun gathering with your cohort, or a challenging day at work. Whether the CSAA SAL experience has been the highlight of your life, or a time you'll remember was hard to push through each and every day, I hope you can reflect upon the moments throughout that have shaped you into who you are right now, and the future you that you haven't met yet. The future you that takes their coffee a different way, has a favorite song you haven't heard yet, and has dreams you haven't yet to fathom. Maybe you'll meet them in 1,652 days, or 827 days, or 365 days. Future you is waiting out there and can't wait to see how you evolve. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And hello, everyone. My name is Aimee Fashola, and I'm CSAA's Vice President of Alumni Engagement. Tonight, I have the honor to introduce this year's CSAA PhD speaker, Dr. Naya Grimes. Dr. Grimes entered the CSAA PhD program in the fall of 2017. And before attending UGA, Dr. Grimes worked in career services at Scripps College in Claremont, California. She graduated in August of 2021 after successfully defending her dissertation titled Queer, Black, Disabled Femme, a Sacred Ethnography Bridging Higher Education Back to Tradition. Dr. Grimes is a transdisciplinary scholar who utilizes her roots in social change, mental health, counseling, and education to reimagine a liberative higher education landscape. Dr. Grimes is committed to scholarship and practice that will eradicate oppression and violence in higher education and beyond. Unfortunately, Dr. Grimes could not be with us this evening as she is celebrating her wedding festivities, so we will play a video on behalf of her with her remarks.
Hey everyone, it's me. It's so awkward to be doing this via recording while my dog is like pacing around the dining room. But I didn't want to throw away this honor, even though I can't be with you all right now. So I have written an address, so I'm gonna try to read it so that, because if not, I'll just say all the things in my heart. We'll probably start crying. I'm not even with you all, so I can't even get the reactions, and it'll just be a hot mess. And I'm sure Chandler will have to edit it all out. Okay. So I just want to say it's my distinct honor to be chosen as this year's speaker for our annual end of the year celebration. I wish I could be experiencing this celebration with each of you back in Athens, all of us sharing space and energy together, or even virtually, as we reflect collectively on our tenure at UGA. Alas, I cannot be with you all tonight because I'm getting married. My Beyonce. Okay, I'm done. Focusing. And I have wedding events at the same time. So like, I'm already late. I'm trying to do this. We're trying to focus, okay? So yes, but I can't be with you all today for that reason, but I want each of you to know I'm well. Obviously still recovering from getting a PhD, but extremely grateful for all I learned in CSAA and at UGA. I do have more exciting news to share with everyone regarding my new job. But as we all know too well, the bureaucracy of higher education has made that difficult. Once the board at my new institution meets in May, I hope to be able to share my good news with everyone then. Despite not being there with you all today, I share these remarks with you in spirit. Whew, all right. What a time to be alive. First, I want to say congratulations to each and every person in our UGA community that has endured through a global pandemic, racial and political unrest, a war, to celebrate this matriculation of their professional degree. Graduate education is hard enough without the entire world falling apart. To successfully finish your degree among this time is an award all on its own. So stop, take a pause, breathe, and bask in that accomplishment. We did it. And I don't know, if you're like me, it was looking rough. And I've been, I feel like I've gotten so many degrees at this point. This one, it was bleak, but we're here. Okay, that was that. See, that was not written. This is why we got to follow the script. Here we go. I just want to say thank you to the faculty for supporting us and continuously championing us as we navigated graduate school, a lot of us for the first time as first-gen students. I want you to acknowledge your UGA homies. We all had different homies, whether they were your cohort, year above, year below, graduated, faculty member, a mentor, your supervisor, but you know who your UGA homies are. Shout out to Black CSAA, always. I never pledged or did sorority or frat life, but Black CSAA, I feel like is my sorority, fraternity. I don't know, we need language that's less binary. Okay, focusing. Okay. But your homies, the people you relied on when you were confused, needed to vent, needed accountability, or just needed a laugh and a good, you're not crazy. Grad school is not normal. Thank you to our families and friends who held us down, even when a lot of us and our experience a lot of our experience didn't make sense to them. Thank you to Spirit for protecting us, guiding us, providing for us when we had no humanly idea of how to manage carrying all that we carried. In this moment, I'm filled with gratitude for all the support and love that led us to this day. Whew, all right, we're making it, we're doing it. It was challenging writing this address because I was so frustrated that from the time we started education until now, so much of the world we know has shifted and a new world fraught with more divide, more fear, more oppression exists in its place. And that's not to say that all of that didn't exist before, but y'all know me, I like to keep it hopeful as a part of my coping. And I think too, just grieving the fact that the education that we received and the way that we received it wasn't what I had expected. And so really grieving the expectation versus the reality. I grieve not walking across the stage and celebrating graduation with you all, fearing large events now are unsafe. Our time at UGA had its ups and downs, for sure. For sure. We're not gonna argue on if there were more downs than ups. We'll just agree that they were both there. From balancing work, coursework, professional service, and trying to maintain a semblance of our personal lives. I mean, isn't it sad we had to put our personal lives last? Maybe you had better boundaries. We'll get to that part in the address soon. But our time at UGA was more challenging than not. Yet the sacrifice to continue our education in the hopes of transforming higher education will continuously be worth the late writing nights, early writing mornings, sitting in traffic to get to class, or updating Zoom for the umpteenth time just to get to virtual class, explaining to your families what the heck it is that we do and why we're perpetually irritated, booked and busy and underpaid still. It's like, does it make sense? It does when you're moving from a spirit, purpose, heart place, right? So we have to remember why we do this work and our why. During uncertain and downright scary times like now, higher education is more crucial than ever. As scholar practitioners, each of us has a responsibility to ourselves, our students, our communities, and to the field of education. You may feel a myriad of emotions, from exhausted, excited, afraid, determined, discouraged, you name it. And despite the challenges along your journey, and the need you might feel to rest, hibernate, maybe even switch fields, stay. Look, if I can make it, you can make it. I've been to other fields. They're not that great. I think we're doing something. All right, where was I? I encourage you to remember the power we have as scholar practitioners, the power to transform, the power to awaken, the power to remember, the power to heal ourselves, our students, and our world. With great power comes great responsibility. How will you yield your power? Will you succumb to the pressure to comply in the lies of systems of oppression? Or will you have the courage to champion freedom, equity, liberation, and love, helping transform our field and our culture? While at UGA, we were trained to challenge, question, create, dream, and act. As each of us transitions into the next chapter in our higher education journey, never forget the values upheld in the illustrious Mary Frances Early College of Education. Okay? Within our CSAA and SAL family, we're not these other practitioners. We're not. You come from the CSAA, SAL, UGA, Mary Frances Early line. We're built different. So you got to hold yourself to different standards. I didn't say better. I said different. We know better. All right. So maybe I did. So maybe there was there was an illusion there, or not. I alluded that our standards are better, but they're grounded in love. We'll do better. Be the model for equity. Be the model for centering the communities and institutions that we occupy. Reclaim your ancestors' histories, lands, knowledge, and culture. Reclaim it. Be the model so our students and communities can do the same. And always remember, to be the model, you must do your inner work to be the model. Be honest with what needs to be unlearned. How have we been harmed? How have we harmed? What do we need to change to show up as compassionate, grateful, equitable scholar practitioners? My hope for each of us is that instead of becoming embittered by everything the universe has thrown our way the last few years, while we fought to finish our degree program, use that knowledge to ground you and be a model for compassion, equity, and love in higher education. We know when we see things that are not grounded in what's best for our students and for the highest good. You don't have to comply in those things. We do not have to maintain a culture grounded in neoliberalism and capitalism, where we don't have boundaries and we work so many jobs for so little pay, not able to really give our communities, ourselves, and our students what they deserve. No longer in complying what we know is not right. Remember the responsibility you have as a scholar practitioner. We have a privilege, opportunity to shift our world towards the highest good. We must seize that opportunity and remember our purpose every time we are challenged, pushed out, put down, told no. We must remember our why. Change seems impossible until each of us decides we have the courage to act. So never forget your responsibility and allow our UGA experience to constantly remind us to have the courage to change, transform, and love. I love y'all. Man, I can't wait till, I don't know, a reunion, conferences. Y'all let me know. Email's still the same. This was an honor. And I wish I could be there at the happy hour king. No, I'm going to be king in spirit. And I'm just so grateful for this community and each of you in it. So sending all my love. All right, now we just got to stop the recording. So I'm doing this technology thing. Proud of me. Hey everyone, it's me.
Thank you, Dr. Grimes. We truly appreciate you taking the time to prepare those beautiful remarks with us, while you are also having a very busy week leading up to your wedding. Congratulations from all of us. My name is Clayton Lawing, and I am the Master's second year member at large. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our next speaker from the SAL program, Dr. Donald A. Coleman. Dr. Donald A. Coleman Jr. is an educator, scholar, and practitioner. He received his bachelor's degree in business management from Georgia State University, a master's degree in higher education administration from Loyola University Chicago, and in 14 days, he will graduate from UGA with a Doctor of Education degree in Student Affairs Leadership. Donald's work experience in higher education, student affairs includes residence life, study abroad, orientation, transition, and first-year experience programs. He previously held positions at the University of Georgia, Kennesaw State University, semester at sea, Valdosta State University, Savannah College of Art and Design, and Illinois Institute of Technology. He is a doctoral intern for the John Gardner Institute and currently works at Life Labs Learning, where he gets to utilize his love of research, education, and consulting daily in practice labs for life's most useful skills. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Donald Coleman.
Thank you, Clayton. I appreciate that so much. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I'm looking at the faces, screens, and some of the names of those who are not on screen, which is okay also. And so I'm just excited. And I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk with you, if that's okay. And so as we are thinking about our time together today, again, I'm just so excited to be with you all. And the first thing I want to talk with us about and talk with you on is just where we are and how we need to celebrate every single win. And so as we think about this, I want us to first get into a little brain science here. I'm a little nerdy, so I think about some brain science, but our brains are wired to feel progress. In the last couple of years, our brains have been in survival mode, right? There's been a lot of uncertainty. We've been trying to figure things out. We've been just trying to survive on top of going to school, on top of teaching, on top of supporting loved ones who've been in programs. And what does that actually mean for us to take a pause to celebrate? And if you haven't taken a pause yet to celebrate, we're gonna do that tonight. I'm just gonna let you know that's what we're about to do in a moment, okay? And so as we're thinking about this again, I'm gonna think about happiness and thinking about some happiness research. And so when we look at happiness at work, because we spend a lot of time at work, y'all, whether you're in a graduate assistantship, working on a degree, our faculty members spend a lot of time at work, right? So research shows that the #1 predictor of happiness at work is actually small continued progress. There was a study done by Dr. Amabile and her team at Harvard Business School, and they went into companies in different places and they gave them a journal. And they told them to write in a journal every time they felt happiness at work. And while people felt happiness at work when they did huge things like finish a project or got a huge client or did something really huge, what they found was that happiness always went down back to base level. What they found was that when people always felt happiness at work, and the #1 predictor in the findings was when they felt small continued progress. So that was the work towards the thing, the work towards the project, the work towards getting the client, the work towards tenure, that small continued progress. And what I find is that we often don't celebrate the small wins. We wait for the huge thing to happen, or we're waiting for the huge thing to be there, or the end result. And when we get there, for those who've been at the end result, you realize it's not that exciting once you get there sometimes, right? But in the moment, in the doing, in the process, in the journey, that's when we feel the progress. So I'm going to talk to us a little bit and see how we can make sure we're celebrating during the progress and during that time. I want us to be deliberate about celebrating progress. That's what I want to speak with you about today as we're doing this, right? And so I want us to think about how we are celebrating progress in all areas of our lives. For first-year master's students, I hope you realize that, you decided to go into this field during the pandemic. It was something that still encouraged you to do this. You were applying for grad school while you were still trying to figure out your senior year, like what was going on, what was going to happen, right? And yet you still are here, and I'm proud of you. Second-year master's students, you were in the process, you were interviewing, you submitted an application, and the world kind of shifted, right? And you're like, I still want to do this though. I still want to do this. Shout out to Nicholas Steins, who's not here. He's at work right now. He's the last graduate student I ever had, and he's like my adopted child. But I just remember even in his process, right? We told him he'll be able to work during the summer. And then we were like, actually, we're not having a summer. And so, everything shifted, right? Everything shifted for you, but yet you still were there. For doctoral students, those who are applying, trying to interview on Zoom, yet you're still here. You're still here in those moments. For my cohort, we started out in person. We were in class. We were in class physically, and things shifted really, really quickly. And we were on Zoom trying to figure it out, right? And so I want us to think about all the progress that we've gone through in those moments. For our faculty members, those who envision their retirement, what it would look like at the end as they're teaching classes, and then they have to shift to Zoom. No one was expecting that, right? Supporting a loved one on Zoom as they're trying to go through all this and figure out if they still want to do this. So all supporters in the room, I salute you also during this, right? And so when we think about this, I really want us to just kind of picture and take a moment to pause, to reflect on the last couple of years, the progress that we've made and what's been happening in our lives. Now, the number one predictor of happiness in our personal lives is social relationships. So what does it look like to cultivate those relationships? What does our community look like? And I'm gonna tie this back to what it looks like for us as we've been going through our programs, our teaching in these programs, right? So I want us to remember to celebrate our progress, but also celebrate our people. right? So the people who've been on this journey with us during the last couple of years, whether it's a cohort mate, a bestie, a faculty member who's been there listening as we've been crying, figuring out what to do, someone that you trust, just part of your community, someone that you've been there for you throughout this time. I want to make sure that we're celebrating those individuals also, right? So I want you to just picture it. It was March 2020. You know, we're living our good lives. We're going to class. I'm like, I don't have to drive to Griffin again, but I'm excited to see my cohort. And then boom, 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 we send our students to spring break. And during spring break, something happens. We start getting some random emails from the University System of Georgia, whether or not we're going to close, whether or not it's going to open. We don't know what's going on. Our students coming back. We're just going to close for a couple of days. They'll come back. We don't know, right? Things shifted really, really fast for us in those moments. And I just remember sitting in Dr. Dunn's law class. We were about to talk about some case in local parentis or something of the nature. And then Dr. Dunn just said, you know what? Let's just take a pause. Let's just take a pause here. Let's just talk. What's going on with everyone? What's happening? And if you know, in the SAL program, that's what it was. Torts, Nikki, that's what it was. We're all working, right? So we're all at universities. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure out how we're about to pivot, even though I can't stand that word. I had to say it one last time. But trying to figure out what we were going to do. And in that moment, while I was talking with my cohort mates, as we were just trying to decide what we were doing on our various campuses, I realized I was in the right program. It was at that moment when I was talking with my cohort mates, as we're deciding we're in a safe space, we're being vulnerable, we don't know what's happening in orientation, residence life folks are trying to figure out what to do with people's stuff, we don't know what's going on. It was in that moment that I realized I chose the right program and that the SAL program was for me, because I was in a body of practitioners who were there for me in that moment as we all were figuring out on our own various campuses, because no one had the answers, right? And so I like to, at this moment, just thank my cohort for that moment and for voting me to speak today, because, I was like, ooh. But, in those moments, we realize why we're doing and what we're doing. And it's those small moments that make the most difference for us, right? And I want us to continue to think about how we celebrate the people in our lives. And so again, I want you to celebrate. You survived a lot of things and you are here doing it. You survived applying for graduate schools, survived your first class. Some of you survived comps, projects, interviews, interviewing to be a faculty member, learning the systems at a new place, tenure, retirement, new life, new ancestors in our families. There's been a lot going on, oh my, in the last couple of years. But yet here you are. Liette, I'm looking at your name or your face here on this Zoom, and I appreciate every single person that's here in this space. So as we remember to celebrate our progress, I just want you to know I'm proud of you. I want you to take 20 seconds, and I want you to think of one thing, as we think about some small progress, just one thing that's happened to you in the last 3 months that you're actually proud of. And I'm gonna give you a moment to reflect on that. Just one thing. It could be small that you got up this morning. It could be small as, you finished out the semester, you finished that project that you didn't think you would do. You finally watered one of your plants. It could be small. I want you to think of one thing that you've done in the last 3 months. And I'm gonna give us 20 seconds just to reflect on that one thing. Now what I want you to do, I want you to look around the screen here, and I want you to find someone who has supported you over this last year. Find a face, find a name. I want you to find one person. Just find one person that you can see, just one person. If you want to get really and razzle dazzle them, you can pin them, and that person will show up right in the box. You go to the little three dots, hover over your face, click on that person, pin them, they'll be right there for you. Because I want you to say a couple of things to that person. If the person's not here, I want you to see that person in your mind, the person that you want to celebrate in this moment. So find that person, find someone who supported you, been there for you. All right, what I want you to do, I want you to say a couple of things to that person. Don't unmute, because this is my speech, not yours. But I want you to say it to them on mute. And I want you just to tell them that you appreciate them for being there. Thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you for celebrating my progress. Thank you for being there during my progress, during my journey, right? And it feels good to say that. And if there's someone who's not here, I want you to tell them after this, let them know that you celebrate them and you appreciate them. So as you continue to celebrate your small wins, I don't care if it's one chapter in your dissertation. I don't care if you're celebrating that you got an interview. I don't care if you're still interviewing and you're a second year master's student. It's gonna be okay because you've already survived the worst and you decided to continue on. So as we're doing this, I just want to send out some thank yous. I want to thank you to the CSAA Master students, first year students for continuing on in this field. We need you. We need your energy. And I want you to continue to realize the good things that you're doing and why it's so important. For you second year master students, baby, you are the future. I've seen you. I've seen how you started out. I've seen how, especially for those Res Life grads and those orientation grads, y'all started not knowing what was happening at UGA. I was there, I saw it too. And but y'all still came. You still did, you still persevered. And you're still here, and the field needs your energy. So when it gets tough, I want you to remember that why, but I also want you to remember you've made it past the worst. And so continue to be great and continue to be great at these colleges and institutions. To my faculty, you know I love you. I would not be here without you. Every single one of you, whether you're new, whether you've been here a long time, or whether you're Dr. Cooper, who's been nudging me for years to start a program, I appreciate you and I celebrate you. Whether you are looking at retirement, whether you're doing your countdown, whether you're retired, I appreciate you. I appreciate the energy that you've brought. The last couple of years have not been easy for our faculty, y'all. For those of you who've ever taught or did have to get a course together, there's not a lot of course releases at our university. I'm just gonna let you know. We've had a lot of people graduate in the last couple of years. And so trying to balance master's program, having a good experience, and the doctoral students having a good experience, it's a lot. And so I appreciate you and I celebrate you, especially for those who've had to move into administrative roles while doing this, interviewing new faculty while doing this, helping people with their chapter 4s and their chapter 5s while doing this. I appreciate you, I see you, and we value you. To my supporters, so for those of you who are supporters on this call, who are not students or faculty, family members, loved ones who are here, we love you. We appreciate you for dealing with us when we said we were going to drop out of the programs 15 times. My sister's on here. Thank you, girl. My cousin's here. My bestie's here. We appreciate you. Where we were trying to figure it out on our college campuses, if you still wanted to do this or not, we appreciate you, to all our supporters, loved ones, and family members here. To the SAL community, and especially my cohort, thank you. I appreciate you for being a listening ear and for being available when we needed you the most during this. The work you do is invaluable, and I've seen the work that you've done on college campuses, and I want you to continue to be there. I want to thank you all, and I want you to remember, celebrate it all, baby. Celebrate every single win. That small progress, whether you submitted an application, whether you wrote a sentence or not. If you're not where you want to be, go back to the progress that you made. And I promise you, your brain needs that. Your brain needs you to celebrate every single win. So celebrate it all. It helps you to remember your why. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Coleman. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I know I can speak for myself in saying that I really needed that after this past year. So thank you for stepping in and giving us that wonderful speech. My name is Angela Cardenas, and I'm the CSAA Vice President of Membership. We will now present the Bulldog Buddy of the Year Award to recognize a second-year cohort member who has provided unparalleled support and friendship to the first years as they transitioned into CSAA and UGA, and especially in a year like this one. This person is someone who has demonstrated a heart for their peers and someone who consistently went out of their way to intentionally show up for their people. When you interact with them, they make you feel like you are the only thing that matters in that moment. This person has displayed a care and kindness that has touched many lives. We are all better people for being loved by them. I know I most certainly am. Please help me congratulating our winner and my dear Bulldog Buddy, Emily Say. I can't see her on my screen, so, okay. Hi, friend, I love you. I would like to introduce Eva Ruin, one of Emily's Bulldog Buddies, to speak on the transition to UGA and CSAA with the support of Emily.
Hi, congratulations, Emily. First, I like to say that I know you got loved on really hard last night, and that I echo everything that they said last night and more. Secondly, I would like to preface that I don't like speaking on behalf of other people. However, I want to confidently say that people will agree with most, if not everything, I'm about to say. And tonight and last night definitely proved that to me. Emily, I want to thank you on behalf of not just our cohort, but of everyone who has ever had the honor of interacting with you. Because of that, I have had the privilege to see you work your magic in real time. Not the magic that is your friendship and your mentorship or your student affairs magic, but the magic that makes you the human you are. Your magic of understanding, compassion, and humor. Your magic is made of grace, care, comfort, and love. Emily, you're one of the most thoughtful, intentional, and supportive human beings I know. And in this short time that I've known you, I've learned so much from you. Your wisdom and advice will be something that will stick with me. Wherever you go and whatever you do, I know you will light up the room with your personality and kindness because that's what you do and that's who you are. You bring light and joy into the spaces you are in. Your love and support is unique and unmatched. Once again, on behalf of everyone, thank you for being you and thank you for everything you do. Congratulations, Bulldog Buddy of the Year.
I'm a
Thank you
little
so much.
weepy over here. Yeah, that was good. That was so good. Thank you again for helping making UGA home, and thank you for all of the second years for your guidance, support, and joy. Y'all were really such a clutch for us first years, and we literally would not be here without the support that y'all gave us. And so we would like to also formally thank those who served as teaching assistants this year, as that responsibility is no easy feat. On behalf of all CSAA master students, we thank you for your grace, your wisdom, mentorship, and ability to strike the perfect balance between challenge and support. We could not have done this without you. Now, the faculty program coordinators will announce our Outstanding Student Awards, starting with Dr. Dean and Theodore K. Miller, Outstanding Master Student Award.
What an evening. This is great to be a part of. So thank you to all the speakers so far, and for all that all of you bring to the programs. It's good at the end of a trying year to have this moment with everybody. Each year, the CSAA second year master's cohort selects a graduating member to receive the Theodore K. Miller Outstanding Master's Student Award. Dr. Miller, as you know, founded the CSAA program in 1967. Ted, as he was known to friends and colleagues, made many significant contributions to the student affairs field. He was the president of ACPA. He was the co-author of The Future of Student Affairs, which became one of the statements that created the student development movement. He went on to serve as the founder and first president of the Council for the Advancement of Standards in Higher Education, near and dear to my heart, as well as its longtime editor, which is where he became an important mentor of mine. So it's particularly meaningful for me to be able to give an award in his honor. Ted retired in 1997 as emeritus professor in the program. He passed in 2016, a year before the program that he founded turned 50 years old. The award named for him honors his legacy of scholarship, of integrity, of professionalism, and of sustained contribution. The recipient of the Miller Award personifies excellence and professionalism in the master's student. This person has consistently demonstrated the following throughout the CSAA experience, and these are the things that the cohort was asked to consider as they thought about who best in the cohort exemplifies these things. A dedication to learning, exceptional working relationships with colleagues and others, exemplary professional standards, conduct, and integrity, and engagement in the CSAA experience and the cohort. The winner of the 2022 Miller Outstanding MED Student Award is Sarah Urbanski, and I'm so pleased to award it to her tonight.
Thank you so much.
You can say more if you want to, but you don't have to.
I'm genuinely speechless. Thank you to all of my cohort members. I'm bad at words. It's also the longer I talk, the more emotional I'm going to get. But I just want to say thank you to my cohort, to the faculty, and everybody who's made the experience being a part of CSAA, just absolutely an incredible 2 years. I know that I'm a better professional than I ever could have imagined being because I've been a part of this program and because of the people that I've had the opportunity to interact with and that have guided me through this experience. So thank you.
I think that means I'm up next. Sarah, I'm like tearing up over here. Congratulations. I am honored to present this year's Roger B. Winston Outstanding PhD Student Award. This is an award given to a CSAA D graduating student. Each year, this award is voted on by all students in the CSAA PhD program. And I'm happy to share with you all that we have 2 recipients of the Winston Award this year. And when I brought this to the faculty, we all unanimously agreed that, hey, more opportunities to celebrate our students. Of course, we should award it to 2 students. So very, very happy that we get to do that. Both of these recipients have truly been role models for their peers in the doc program and for many of the students in the CSAA Master's program as well. The first recipient has been a force in the CSAA D program. She has challenged faculty and peers to think more intentionally about equity and justice. We saw that earlier tonight in her remarks, giving it away a little. And she's been a wellspring of empowerment and liberation for all those around her. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Nia Grimes as a 2022 Winston Award winner. As you all know, Dr. Grimes is unable to join us this evening, but I'm sure she'll watch this recording after the wedding festivities subside. I mean, you know, she's got bigger things going on right now. Our next recipient, who is with us, has been an excellent representative of CSAA D during his time in the program across UGA and nationally. He's represented us very well. His enthusiasm and commitment for creating equitable spaces in higher education, specifically to support Black students, has had an impact right here on campus. And I know it will continue to have an impact as he moves forward. This recipient is often thought of as a quiet force in our community, in our CSAA community. He isn't always the first person to talk in a space, but when he talks, you know it's time to listen. And we've all learned that over the years. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Carlton Smith as the 2022 Winston Award winner. Congrats, Carlton and Naya.
Okay, I too am a little emotional here after all of this. Your speeches were amazing and inspirational and what I needed to hear, and congratulations to all. It's my honor to start the presentation for the Diane L. Cooper Outstanding EDD Award. This is an award that is voted on by members of the 3rd year SAL cohort. The Diane L. Cooper Award honors Dr. Diane Cooper's legacy as faculty in the College Student Affairs Administration and Student Affairs Leadership programs. And I would note, as the person who almost single-handedly created the SAL program, that's not in my script, but it's important. And her contributions as an outstanding researcher, dedicated scholar, exceptional leader in student affairs, as well as a remarkable colleague. This award recognizes an outstanding student in the Student Affairs Leadership Program who best represents the qualities recognized by the award. The recipient of the Cooper Award is a graduating member of the 3rd year cohort who exudes excellence and professionalism as a doctoral student. This person has consistently demonstrated the following throughout their SAL experience: a commitment to learning as demonstrated by their academic performance, development in scholarly practice and/or leadership contributions in student affairs, outstanding relationships with faculty, students, and colleagues. And now I'll turn this over to Dr. Cooper.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you all tonight and to present this to really the last SAL group that I was able to be with for all the time. So that's particularly exciting. One of the things I love about these awards is you all voted for who these people are. And I hope you all take that in, because that's pretty special. The winner of this award, Liz, has been just phenomenal to work with in classes, has certainly supported everyone and challenged everyone. And I have to say, I love the fact that her favorite quotes are from the musical Wicked and from Grey's Anatomy. I think those are great sources of quotes to help us think about life. The winner, Dr. Alicia Myrick.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Oh. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you all.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Chandler Crane, and I serve as the Vice President of Events for CSAA. I would like to say thank you for all of those who joined us at our happy hour earlier this evening, and also tonight virtually for our program. We are proud to recognize the graduates from the CSAA Master's and Doctoral Program, as well as SAL. You all have faced unprecedented challenges, adapted, and persevered to get to where you are today. To the graduates, we wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we hope you don't forget that home is where the arch is. To celebrate all of our students and the memories we've had over the past year, please enjoy a video that was made by Claudia, our VP of Communications. I am going to have to stop to share my screen because I couldn't embed it into the PowerPoints. So give me 1 second. One second, it's still trying to share the wrong screen. Awesome. Sorry, you all, as I try to get out of that screen. So as we wrap up and I start to share the screen again, just wanted to say throughout this year, we have witnessed both unimaginable joy and pain, but each of you are someone to us and someone to this program. Thanks to the faculty for coordinating the awards. And thanks to the Saga Exec Board for helping throughout the program and who all made it possible. And thanks again for you all to be here again this evening. Congratulations again to our graduating classes of 2022. You all have earned this and so much more. We cannot wait to see what all you accomplish in the future. Thank you again. And this concludes our formal programming. And I hope you all have a great weekend.
Congrats.
Great work.